Hi, I'm Lynette Solis,
I'm Sandra McGarrett.
and we are doing our Celebrate and Elevate for our portfolio artifacts for week 3. So Sandra, I really enjoyed your ROI and how you took the time to do both an in-person and e-learning and see how the returns on investments compared. I really also enjoyed just how you talk about it and explained it and explained the scenario and how just the return on investment on positive behavior, like the positive behavior programs, because I know a lot of schools actually struggle with that. I know when I was teaching middle school, that was a big issue for us, and we were working on trying to come up with a program or something. So being able to actually hire someone to help us would have been a great idea. I think the only thing to elevate is maybe researching to see if that was the best format for return on investment for educational. But overall, you did a fantastic job. You did really well.
Thank you. Maybe that may be something you and I will have to get together and create our own e-learning on positive management strategies for the classroom.
And you paid thousands of dollars for it.
That's something to keep in the back of our mind, right? Well, I always enjoy yours, and I got a lot out of this. I mean, you really did a great job, and it was simplified, made it easy to understand. Your week 3 of this particular uh, project, or that goes in the portfolio. So it looked very professional. Was the very first thing. It looked like it was something that would be out with a company or business, and I know that's what you have learned to do with your job. So you're doing it very professionally. The communication part, I like that you were talking about the weekly huddles that you get together every week, and that's going to be your one of your means of communication. And if they were in the office together, they could go and listen to it together uh, at a boardroom or something, or they could do it individually at their desk. You came up with some really good quotes that really identified what you were talking about. They really did mesh with what you were saying. So I know you researched it and found stuff that really did go with what you were talking about. Now you mentioned Microsoft Project. One thing I will tell you about Microsoft Project is not an easy program to learn. And I had to learn it, and I had to create a book on it and try to teach it. And I didn't do that good because I just really didn't understand it. So I think my suggestion is if you're going to learn it and you're going to use it, you don't know yet or not, but if you do, make sure that you get some examples to be able to input into what you're doing, because I never could get anybody to give me examples so that I could kind of work through a project. They just wanted me to learn it and teach it, but I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I need something so I could see it going from the beginning to the end. And so that was a downfall of my experience with Microsoft Project.
Yeah,
But
and
it's a good program. Microsoft, everything about Microsoft is good. It's just hard.
in that book I was talking about, it has like a whole chapter on Microsoft projects, so the kind of do's and don'ts and how to figure out what works for you for your projects. And so
Yeah.
that's what kind of drew me to it more, was reading that book and reading that chapter and kind of seeing like, okay, like he really details out each part and what works and what doesn't really work and what a lot of people's complaints were about and how you could do it.
Yeah, so that's, to me, that is a good resource, that book, because you got a lot of really good information from that. And I wrote it down because I want to look at it too. I think it would be something, it's a very good resource to look at. The MS Teams, uh, kind of one of my questions was, what if you were working and they didn't want to use Microsoft? Would you be okay with Google?
Actually, when it comes to proprietary information, so me working in healthcare, if this was a project for my work, a lot of actual companies too use Microsoft. So like my dad works out in the refineries, they use Microsoft, and they don't use Google because Google owns any information you create in it. They own it. Microsoft does not. You license out product from Microsoft so that it's personal private information that they can't take and sell. And
So I
so
think Google's more of the poor man's version of Microsoft.
Yeah. And so
Yeah, but that was my question. You know, what if they said, you know, we're just going to use Google? What you just said is a very valid reason to not use Google, to say
yeah,
no,
and
because
I'll
they,
tell you, in the corporate world, everyone uses Microsoft. They use
yeah,
Microsoft for everything. Everyone's going to Office 365. Like my company, we just rolled out Office 365, and it's just the way everyone's going because of that.
because of that reason. And I've learned, I know Google, but I've never used Google at work. We just, that was always, Microsoft was the standard. So, but I do think it's good to know Google as an instructional designer, because I feel like we need to know a lot of different ways to
I
do
think
things.
it's good if you're going into the just regular education setting. But if you are looking to go corporate, um,
Not a good idea to have
really
it.
not, because you can't share information like you'd like.
Yeah.
Um, it just makes things very difficult. And especially trying to go between Google and Microsoft products can get a little ugly.
Yeah, it doesn't, they don't share well, do they?
Lose.
The final thing I wanted to say is I really like what you said, that if you say you're working with somebody, you never ever even meet them, like you and I have not met, but I feel like we're colleagues and friends, and that you would want to send them something. And you said maybe a cookie basket or something like that. And I thought, you know, that's a great thing. And one of the new things that has come out is they have places like Edible Eats. Have you ever heard of that place? Oh yeah, all those kind of things. I just think they're good ideas. And it creates camaraderie, you know, that you feel like, oh, we really are a team, and we're working together, and they appreciate what I've done. So I like that idea a lot, that even if, I mean, they could be across the country and you could still do something like that. And it's, you know, just creating good morale. So I
And,
like that idea.
and then just that's just kind of me personally too, is I want people to feel like they matter. And so sending something, or even like if it was like they call them swag bags, but
Yeah, I've
like
never heard of that, but that sounds good.
a bag full of just things with the company's logos or things that we've done, just kind of, here's, here's for our project, what who we created for. And yeah, it's people
Yeah,
just
I
like
like
thank you for thinking of me.
Yeah,
You
and I think, I really think it goes a long way, a lot more than you even realize, even more than the person realizes, because they might think, you know, back and they say, hey, I worked with her before. Hey, you know what? She even sent me a cookie basket one time, you know, so it's just like you're creating good vibes. And I think that's kind of, you know, if you're going to work with somebody and you're going to have a long-term relationship, it's good to keep that relationship on good terms.
Yes.
I like that. So, uh, great job. I've enjoyed it. And we've got another week and then finals, and we'll be done. Thank you.
Thank you.